All right, Coach, I guess talk about the final homestand of the season and then trying to get that elusive one more win to kind of get things locked down, and then you have senior day.
Yeah, I mean, this is an exciting week. You know, it's an opportunity to win a championship on our home floor. You know, our team is really focused on that, and I think that we could do that on Thursday, obviously tomorrow, and then on Saturday we get to celebrate our seniors. So it should be two celebrations this week, and I'm just excited that we can finally get a chance to cut down some nets if we take care of business, because that's what we played this whole season for, and it's starting to get to the point where we can celebrate some things.
How frustrating was it to not get it done over the weekend for you guys?
You know what, it was. Obviously, we wanted to go 2-0 on the road. You know, and Illinois State played a great game. They had a great game plan. They wanted it more than us, I felt like, in that game. And they just played their hearts out, so credit to them. But we didn't play well, you know, and I think, you know, it's hard sometimes on the road, especially we got that target on our back. Teams are hungry. But we rebounded, we played well at Bradley, and I knew that Bradley was going to punch at some point and make a run. I mean, they got great players on their team. It's senior day. It's the last time they're playing on their court. You expect players to show up. So I was happy that we built that cushion in the first half where we could withstand their punch. But that was a good win for us. You know, and Illinois State wasn't a terrible RPI loss. I would have liked to win that game, but now we get to win a championship on our home floor, so that's even better than kind of doing that on the road.
What happened after that game, we just saw the release from the Valley. Just your comments on that. Any thoughts that you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, nobody's perfect. Obviously, you know, I take ownership for the mistake I made, and I just commented on, you know, the officiating in that game on my post-game radio show, and I just, you know, expressed some frustration that I probably shouldn't have, and not probably, I shouldn't have, and, you know, the Valley obviously talked to me about it, and I was reprimanded for that. But now we're moving forward, and you know, I just think that you live and you learn, and you got to make sure that you always, you know, control your emotions in those situations.
Just everything with hosting now. I know you've kind of said that winning out was required, but it seemed like you got enough help over the past weekend that maybe it's still alive. Do you kind of see that?
Well, you know, I do I guess read and listen to some of the speculation that I see. You know, I don't know. I really don't know. You know, I just think that right now I want to work on winning a regular season title and then winning the, you know, tournament, the MVC tournament. But if it happens, that'll be awesome. It's something that we really wanted to happen. I thought initially when we lost to Illinois State that was definitely out of the question, and there might be a chance that if we do win out and win the tournament that it's still in play, but I just don't know. You know, before I was pretty confident if we won out that we would get a chance, but you know, if it happens, then it'll be a blessing. If it doesn't, then we got to go on the road.
Coach, you have senior day coming up. You have two seniors that you're going to be honoring. What have those seniors meant to this program and to you with your first year here?
They meant a lot. I mean, Willie and Meek, I call them, but Alexa Willer, Shamika Ely, they're great kids. You know, they're different, but really, really good kids. Willie is just like, you know, she's been a breath of fresh air to coach. You know, you can count on her in so many ways. She's probably one of the hardest working kids I've ever been around. I mean, that kid really, really works. She's a gym rat, and she deserves everything she's gotten. And I just think that, you know, she really wants to put the team on her back, and I think you go as far as your seniors are going to take you in the postseason. So I'm excited that she's playing confident and you know, just the leadership and everything she brings. Meek brings some leadership as well, and you know, her situation was a little different because she was coming back from the knee injury, and so she kind of started behind where everybody else was learning the system early, and Meek had to kind of catch up. But I think she's hit some big shots in games. She's helped us win some games this year, and I think she's going to continue to contribute. But you know, she has a great personality. She's a great kid, and you know, with seniors, sometimes when a coach comes in, a new coach comes in, seniors are the last to buy in because they're used to what they've been going, you know, their routines and everything they've learned for the last 3 years. But both of those seniors like welcomed me and my staff with open arms, and they bought in from day one, so it made the transition so much easier. So I just appreciate them. I love both of their personalities, great kids, and you know, they definitely have me for life.
You've talked about how you've kind of had to drag Alexa off the court sometimes. Do you have any funny stories there to tell?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, Willie likes to send a lot of GIFs, right, on her text message. So she'll send the ones, I'll text her, and I'll be like, you know, you're not going to the gym today. Like, you need to rest. And she'll send the one where, like, you're falling flat on your face or you're running into a wall. Like, she sends these, like, crazy GIFs, like, Coach, come on, begging me. You know, but and then sometimes she tries to trick me and be like, well, I only went in the gym to lift, or I only went in the gym to shoot free throws, and then, you know, somebody else would be like, well, no, she was doing full out drills, you know. So I don't know, we just kind of go back and forth. So I know the days where she's gonna push it, where I'm a little bit lenient. I'm like, why don't you take, like I kind of suggest, and then she's going in the gym. But the days that I'm like, Willie, you're not going in, that's when I get the crazy gifs. But yeah, no, she's a good kid.
Coach, anything in these last couple of games, the loss and then kind of giving up that lead, that kind of has you concerned about the team, or is it just end of the year, last road trip kind of things?
Well, here's the thing. I told the team it's March, you know, and everybody ups their game in March. Not only do we have a target on our back that we've had all year, people are playing for stuff. You know, everybody wants to finish their season strong. Everybody wants to get to postseason, whether it's NCAA or WNIT. So, you know, there's going to be, I mean, I personally think blowouts and all that stuff are done. You know, I think that everybody's going to be fighting. They're going to be competitive games, you know, from here on out. So I expected those 2 games to be pretty competitive. I would have loved to win, you know, the Illinois State game, and I know our players would have too, but at the same time, it was kind of another little wake-up call. I think that we needed that. Like, you know, guys, we're going, at that point, we're getting into March, and you cannot relax. You have to play 40 minutes. You know, you can't have a quarter where you score 5 points, which we did, and it came back to bite us. So even though we rallied in the second half of that game, it was just too late. You know, the damage was done.
You said that Illinois State wanted it more than you guys. Did you kind of see a different level of kind of wanting it in the next game?
Yeah, you know, and I kind of approached the next game a little differently from a coaching standpoint. You know, usually when you lose, it's like, you know, go back to the drawing board and what do we do, you know. And we did a little bit of that. We watched film, we reflected, and we, you know, talked about some stuff. But we did a lot of team bonding and did some activities together outside the hotel. And we just kind of, I felt like we were a little disconnected in the Illinois State game. So I just wanted to bring us back together. And that was my biggest goal between those 2 days. And we had an extra day, too, on the road. So going into the Bradley game, I felt like we were back on track, like we were more of a team. So we came out, and obviously in the first half, we had a pretty good lead and went into halftime pretty comfortable. Now I knew that they were gonna go on a run. I knew they weren't just gonna lay down, but you know, like I said, that cushion just helped us out. So I didn't really go, you know, I didn't approach the game after the loss how I have like in previous losses. I just kind of changed it up a little bit because I think at this point, people are in shape. You know, we're all focused on the same goal, but we just need to kind of click again.
Do you think this could be another one of those things where you're like, oh, it's a good thing we lost, kind of like you did with the previous loss you don't like us asking about?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I thought at this point we didn't need to take that loss. You know, I thought we were past that. But you never know. Everything happens for a reason. So maybe I hope it does turn out to be, yeah, that was a good, you know, lesson for us. And now we know we're not taking anybody for granted. We're not taking any possessions off. Hopefully that's what we learned from it. But at the same time, I didn't think we needed that loss. You know, I thought we could have went 2-0 last week.